Okay. Thank you. Amri Nahardoi.
Where is it?
Second line up from the bottom. Lamed Zayin on the base. Yeah. Amri Nahardoi. Yeah. So the Nahardoi, they said, "Hi man, to Zavin Dikla Lechavre." If a guy sold a palm tree to his friend, Kanile Mishfule Atahima. Yesterday we were talking about the back and forth. If you sell a tree with karka, without karka, who gets the karka? Who doesn't get the karka? So we said that. So Nardoi said, if you sell a decal tree, you own the dirt all the way down to the bottom of the earth, right? So the question is this, and like I think Rabban, I think you asked this, right? Is it Dafka palm tree? Right? The chayret's lav dafka palm tree, I think. Right? Anyway, but Tosfos says on the next daf, Tosfos says that if the tree dies, meaning what happens if the tree dies? Does he get the land? No. All he did again back then. I don't know if they do this nowadays. I don't think they sell trees besides for the ground. Right? Yeah. So anyway, so saying that if he sold it, so then he gets the dirt. But Tosfos says again, if the tree dies, he doesn't have a right to the dirt. He only has a right to the dirt as long as the tree is alive.
It might be that this is more common in other countries, but not in America. So we're not used to such an idea. But it could be such a thing as common in the Middle East. I don't. It might be just, but we're not knowing that way in America. You buy but unless you're a sharecropper, but that's different. So it could be in other places. It actually works out that way. Yeah. Just saying.
Okay, so Lama Chesam also Maskula Rava, Velema lay Kurkuma Derishka Zav Zvini Loch. Why can't he say, right, that the seller say to the guy who bought it, I'm selling you Kurkuma Derishka, so some sort of saffron that's expensive, which we had in Bava Metzia. Meaning he said, I just sold you, meaning they used to sell this saffron when it was while it was growing, you got to buy that, and then once you picked it, that's it, you were done. So he's saying that maybe that's what I did. And akar kurkuma the rishka bazil, so just be it and get out of here. Meaning all I sold you was the tree. I didn't sell you the ground for the tree. The same way with this expensive saffron that people buy, you're only getting the saffron and that's it. Elamar Rava, so Rava says a different shot. He only gets the ground if he says that the part of their deal was that they're making a sale. They're selling the ground with the tree. Right? So that's meaning he's saying a different thing. The first, I don't know who the one that said Amri Nahardoi is, but whoever it is that said Amri Nahardoi is talking about with the actual tree. The actual tree, when he sold them the tree and that's it.
So Rashi, not Rashi, Tosfos says over there, interest that it's a 3-year crop. It's a 3-year crop, and that's how you get the shane of chazak and the shane, because it's a 3-year crop. This type of tree. You see that Divrei Maskul, the Ikorach Moderation. It's a 3-year deal. It's like if I had this tree, so now maybe I have he has a tree on the property also. Well,
that's what he's right. So Rav is saying pshat is that he claims that he made it. He made that deal that he gets the car. Yeah. So Amrle Mark Shisha Breder Rav Chisla Rav Ashi. So Mark Shisha said to Rav Ashi, "Be korkum the rishka savan le my have lemeva." If he taka did it and sold him kurkur the rishka with this saffron, so then what is he supposed to do? Right? Meaning, how can he? Meaning, what's the guy can make a chazaka. Meaning, even if he's telling him that yes, I sold you as kurkuma derishka, right? So the guy has in his field the kurkuma derishka, and he goes there and he works on it because it belongs to him. So therefore, since it belongs to him, so then he could say, "Oh, I have a chazaka after 3 years," like Rachman was saying. The guy, this kurkuma derishka is there for 3 years, or the tree is there for 3 years. So the guy could tell him, "Oh, I just made a chazaka on your karka," and then he fights with everybody, right? Right. So my havalela mevar, what should he do? So what it says, and we had this Gemara once before. He could have made a macha. He should have made a macha, right? That if he wouldn't make a macha, hani mashkanta desura, our good old mashkanta desura, which is, remember, mashkanta desura is where the guy has to pay back a loan. So instead of paying him back, he gives him his field, and then the guy gets the lender gets to eat all the fruits for those years, and then he gives him back the field. So we were worried that maybe the guy's going to make a chazaka, right? Maybe he's going to make a chazaka on him, right? So then we said that no, the guy has to make a macha. So the same way we're saying with this, that the guy has to make a macha. So we're saying here also you have to make a macha. Right? So this is what he writes in the Shtar Mishlam, that when you pay these years, go pay back the money without kesef, right? So let's say the guy decides he wants to hide his shtar mashkanta. Instead of saying that, oh, I'm holding on to the land so that I could get paid back for the loan, I actually give it back. Is he going to believe? Miskini Rabbanon Milsa, right? The Rabbanon would the Rabbanim going to make something to Asi Balu de Pseida. Again, the Chachamim made this takana so that you can get paid back without ribbis. And now you're gonna make a thing that he can get paid back. He can get his money paid back, but the guy might lose his entire land. The borrower might lose his entire land. He should have make a macha, meaning the guy, the borrower should make a macha to the lender and say every year. Well, we'll see in tomorrow's daf or the next day's daf how often you have to make the macha. But he's going to go to the lender and he'll say, by the way, I'm just letting you know that you only have this field in order to get paid back, and that's it. Right? So too here, the guy who's holding on to the tree or the saffron, either the saffron or he has a deal to hold on to the tree. The owner or the previous owner has to give the guy a macha every once in a while.
The macha has to be the Rabbim. You have to have Hadim there.
So we're gonna stay tuned for the next stop.
Just in front of his door, bro.
Oh yeah, dog's puzzle-atus. Everybody knows dog's puzzle-atus.
The smart dog.
Oh, okay. Where's the mute button?
Yeah. But anyways, I don't know. Every time we have this mashkanta desura, it seems like it's a dangerous thing to do. People are always, trying to scam it.
When we started out, before they gave the Tarek mashkanta desura, we thought it was a nice guy. He liked the money, and he doesn't pressure him. Whenever he has oranges, he goes eats 4 oranges over 10-year period. Now all of a sudden the guy's in Russia. He's scared. From the beginning, he wanted to take the guy's car.
Right. And I don't know. It seems like a risky proposition. This mashkanta desura guy. Yeah. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. So now we continue with now we start getting in how to make the macha, right? And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in Yiddishkeit that know good and well how to make machas. Maybe not the proper machas, but like we discussed this morning, right? Maybe they're not making machas on the proper things. But what's the legitimate way to make a macha? Right? So shalish aratzis l'chazaka. There's 3 lands for considered for chazaka: Yehuda, the Aver Yarden, Agalah. Right? So how you be Yehuda? If let's say the owner is in Yehuda, v'hichzik begalil, and the guy meaning he has property in Galil, but he's in Yehuda, and they should be massing in the Galil. Once we're talking about the Galil, the upper Galil, so they should all have Sudas Taivas over Shabbos. I think the Olam should have it in mind with the whole matzah in Eretz Yisrael. Let's not forget. So, anyways, so yeah, so you have Yehuda, you have Galil, all of them. They're not having the most relaxing Shabbos, the Shabbos, right? So you have Yehuda v'Hislik beGalil. So, but let's say he was in Yehuda, and he was machzik in Galil, beGalil v'Hislik beYehuda, or he was in Galil, and some guys making chazaka on his land in Yehuda. Ain't a chazaka. It's not a chazaka. They have to be together in the same Medina. If they're not together in the same Medina, then it doesn't work. Right? Meaning, it's too far away. Again, with the whole din of chazaka, it's pshat that the owner had the possibility of seeing the fellow, right? And he just didn't make a macha. But here, if it's Yehuda, Galil, and Ever Yarden, it's not expected for people to be going back and forth. So Mamela, if he makes a macha,
what's Yehuda and Galil? How far is is that a state?
It's really
is that a city?
not that far. No, it's all part of
Is that
Eretz
from
Yisrael.
Rockaway to Brooklyn? I'm saying how far in our terms? New Jersey?
Oh, it's a different state. It's not about the distance. People didn't travel from one state to the other.
Oh, I want to speak. I can't.
So like Lakewood wouldn't be
I'm
counted.
sorry.
For Rockaway to
Naftali,
Lakewood.
where does Far Rockaway end?
I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Easier
Meaning
answer. I learned.
No, I will see on Amma Bays. It's
okay,
strange that it seems like people didn't travel from one to the other, right? Meaning, it's the question is are there shiyoras mitzuyas? How do they call it? Right?
Caravans.
Yeah, there's caravans going or not. So meaning the point is if a guy is in one place and his field is in another place and he didn't make a macha, we could say that the reason he didn't make the macha is because he didn't know about it. It wasn't matzah. So therefore, there's no chazaka. Right? He only makes the chazaka when you know that both of them are in Yehuda or in the Galil or in Ever Yarden, and then he still didn't make a macha. Some Rabbi Yehuda. So Yehuda said, "Lo yamru shalishanim elakadei baspamya." So Rabbi Yehuda disagrees, and he says this whole thing of a chazaka for 3 years is elakadei baspamya. That's only if the guy was in Spain, v'yachzik shana, and somebody was in his field in Eretz Yisrael for a year. Yelchu v'yodiyu shana, and it takes him a year to let him know. V'yavel shana acheres, it takes him another year to travel. So that's when we need 3 years. So Yehuda is saying a big chumrah. He's saying that chazaka only applies for some place that it's taka impossible to travel. But if it's possible to travel, then the chazaka is going to be immediate.
So Yehuda to Galil would not be 3 years.
It's 6 minutes.
No, so I'm
Yeah,
saying so Yehuda to Galil would not be 3 years. It would be shorter.
Yehuda. What are you saying? Why are you saying? Wait a minute, 6 years.
No, it would not 6 years. It would be less than 3 years because it doesn't take 3 years to go back and forth.
To travel between Yehuda and Galil.
Yeah, to go to
yes.
Yehuda and Galil would not be 3 years. It would be less.
I don't know if that's what Rabbi Yehuda is saying. Rabbi Yehuda is giving you a maximum because that you have a further place. It could be something even greater than 3 years. Like from
correct. There could be, but not in
Portugal.
Correct, but Yehuda to Galil, which is next to each other, would not be 3 years. Would be less.
You want to infer that from what Rabbi Yehuda is saying. I don't know if that's a good.
That is Rabbi Yehuda's point.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's Rabbi Yehuda saying that. Yeah.
So how much time if you're both in the same
Maybe,
city?
maybe Rabbi Yehuda saying that
I don't know.
only
I don't know.
because that's the
My
furthest.
service must be
That's
bad.
the furthest part of where civilization went at that time. They didn't have Indians in
Correct.
America. They didn't, so maybe that was just the furthest.
It's 5,500 kilometers from Spain to Eretz Yisrael.
Wow, it's a lot of running.
So how much time is a chazaka if you're both in Woodburn?
Naphtali,
Yeah.
people had to go from Galil to Yehuda 3 times a year to go to the base of Migdash. So I don't understand the Gemara at all. They're chayiv to go.
No, I was asking if you
somebody
live in the same place, how much time is a chazaka?
That was she's running about.
Achman, can you mute?
If you
Seems
live in
to
the
be
same
good to say the first step of the chazaka is the first year. It does say you're there a year, v'yachzik shana, and then after that yelchu laspamim. So even Yehuda Yehuda would take a year, at the minimum.
So if you're in the same city, then you, in order to go, make a
To go
chazaka,
where
it's a
to
year.
where?
The chazaka would take a year,
It would take a year, not 3 years. Okay.
right?
Am I on still? I don't know what the service is. Shvach. I'm getting hot dog.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah?
You're good. You're
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Okay. Anyways, yes. So but that's certainly what Rabbi Yehuda is saying. That the chazaka is just, it could be instant, right? Okay, so let's see the Gemara.
It's
So
still
Michael
not
Sover,
instant. The Yehuda
it
still
can
says
be.
Kadesh Yachzik Shana. He still has to do a chazaka of a year, and then the guy's going to go to Aspamim.
Yeah, what does instant mean? I stay in your field for 5 minutes and now I have a chazaka? Not instant.
You see a guy. One second. You see a guy walking in your field, working your field. You go over to him. Hey, what are you doing here? Right? If you ignore him, seems like according to Rabbi Yehuda, you just gave up the thing.
So what's the Yachzik Shana according to Rabbi Yehuda? The first Yachzik Shana.
Field. No. No.
I didn't hear anything.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I don't know if apparently. Now,
Yeah.
yes.
I hear you fine over here.
I have no idea. I have all the bars on the thing. I don't know. So you're saying what the 1 year is, Gershon?
Yeah, I mean, he puts it in the Mishnah. You should need 5 minutes and then another 2 years
Right, so
to go to Spain and back.
Because so the Rashbam says that because it takes a year for people to figure out that the guy's in his field. Right? No?
So that means if you're in the same city, the chazaka is not less than a year.
No, I'd say it's again, it's going to be tully and how long it takes for a person to figure out how long the guy's in his thing in his yard. Does that make sense?
That's a Rabbi Yehuda would say you can be machzik right away if the guy knows, right?
Right. So Gershon's saying why he's saying a year because it seems like it takes a year for people to figure out. No.
So if I'm 5 minutes away, it takes five. I walk over there, I take the guy's piece of land. In 5 minutes, I got a chazaka on it. That doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? Like I'm there for 5 minutes, I got a chazaka on it. Now the guy went to the store. He went to Bingo's, came back.
That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. There has to be enough time for him to know.
If it's in front of him, it would be an instant.
Yeah, the Rashbam says the year is the Kadesh Yatzah Kol in order for people to find out. So if the guy would find out in a week, then he can machzik in a week, according to Rabbi Yehuda.
I don't know. The question is, why does Rabbi Yehuda? I don't know what's going on here. Am I still not working?
Oh, froze a little bit. The Rashbam says Kadesh Yatza Kol.
You froze for a second, but now it's working.
Did that before too.
Goodbye.
Okay, now
Yeah,
am I good or not?
Yes.
Okay, I hope that'll continue. All right, let's go back to before the Friday afternoon blues over here.
You're good according to Rabbi Yehuda because it was good for 6 seconds. So according to Gashi Rabbi Yehuda, it's good. But nobody else can
Very
hear
good.
you, but it's great.
Very good. Yeah, so Toysus says, why does Hitaka say 3 years from it? Because that's the furthest you're gonna go. Spain is the furthest you're gonna go. Okay, so Makasava Tanakama. What does the Tanakama hold? Right? Meaning, do they hold Machosh Shalei B'fanav is good or not? That's really the question. Machosh Shalei B'fanav or not? Ikasar Machosh Shalei B'fanav Havi Macha. If it's a Machosh Shalei B'fanav is a Macha, Afilu Yehuda V'Galul Nami. Then even Yehuda and Galul too. But what's the difference? Meaning, if you can make a Macha when the guy's not there, so then what's the difference? Right? What's the difference where you are? You can make that Macha. And Ikasar Macha Shalei B'fanav Lo Yav Macha. And if you say Macha Shalei B'fanav, it's not a macha. Afilu Yehuda v'Yehuda nami loy. And even if they're in Yehuda and Yehuda, meaning if let's say the guy's around the block, right, and he makes the macha and he doesn't see him, so why is that a macha? Why is that? Why should that be a macha? Meaning, mamanashach. If you hold, you have to be in front of him for the macha. Then you have to be. Yeah, it makes no difference even if you're both in the same city. And if you don't have to be in front of him, so what's the difference if you're on the other side of the world? You're also okay. That's the kasha. So Rav Avraham, Rav Lo'ilam Kasavar Macha Shalei B'fanav Havi Macha. He holds a Macha Shalei B'fanav is a Macha. U'Mishnah Seinu B'Shas Chirim Shanu. And the Mishnah is talking about exactly nowadays, right? It's talking about where travel it's a Chirim literally means emergency, right? But meaning there was no way to travel from place to place because travel was restricted, right? So memela, meaning normally says you can make a macha shalei b'fanav, and it is a macha. But here we're talking about where you can't even travel at all. So therefore, there's no. Basically, what we're going to say is there's no chaver the chaver islay. There's no way. How is the news going to get across town or across countries if travel is restricted because it's an emergency, right? So then you have to say, okay, then the Gemara says, Mashna Yehuda v'Goldner. Because if you're saying that the Mishnah is talking about when it's an emergency, so why are you saying Yehuda, examples of Yehuda and Golul? It's anywhere, right? Anytime you have a war or where there's no travel, then you have a problem. Al-Kamash Malon, Antam Beis, the Stam Yehuda v'Golul, Kishas Chirum Domi. Stam Yehuda and Golul is always like an emergency, right? Meaning travel between Yehuda and Golul is so difficult. I don't know why, but it's so difficult that Memela it's considered as Shas Chirum, and between the two countries, or they're not really countries, but between the two, let's call it cities, there's never Shiyara Mitzuyim, right? And
Don't we
Memela
have to
Shiyara is
know?
Mitzuyos, I'm sorry. So right, so 1 second. So Memela, since there's never travel in between the two, then therefore, even a Macha Shalei B'fanav is not a Macha. Not even, or a Macha Shalei B'fanav is not a Macha. What are you saying?
Don't we have to know when this Gemara is talking about what period in history? What's
Yes.
it talking about?
Well, it's certainly not talking about nowadays, right? Because nowadays the
I don't know
Macha is
what it's
instant.
talking about. Nebuch, people now, and nobody lives in the Galil Nebuch. I don't know what it's talking about. I don't think Gemara say such a thing. We don't. I'm sorry, we don't.
Yeah, no, because the Gemara at that time, well, it wasn't saying that it was a shah. It was at that particular time there was no shiyaras mitzuyas. It just wasn't between Yehuda and Galu. Right? That's what.
How do we learn from this book? We don't know what time period it's talking about. Well, how do we learn halachas from this?
But doesn't the Rashbam say that because of this, even in times of peace, we still have the same halacha, we still have the same ruling?
Again,
So
no,
why
no,
do you
isn't it
say
going to be?
that?
What the Rashbam says it.
No, but
Why
isn't it
does the
going to be
Rashbam
totally?
say it?
No, but every city is going to be totally and economy. Every city is going to be totally in what the situation is.
You could both
Right.
be right in this situation. What's now? Right now. So American, Delta, and all the foreign airlines canceled flights from Eretz Yisrael into and out of Eretz Yisrael. El Al's still flying. Is that Shores Mitzvahs or not?
Yeah, they
L'chayr,
fly-
yes.
they
Garrison,
have-
as of
they
an hour,
have
as of
five,
an hour
six
ago, they
flights a
canceled,
day.
I think, everything.
What?
As of about a half hour, an hour ago, they canceled everything. Even Halal.
What?
El Al also?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
definitely not Shores Mitzvahs
because
now.
they did it on a Shabbos. The last time they bombed was on a Shabbos. I'm assuming, right?
Now they're striking
Um,
back already. They're in Syria striking back. I don't know.
Yeah, it just popped
You don't
up
know
on my
what's real and what's not. That's the problem.
uh,
You didn't get special phone calls, Aaron? I can't believe it.
I didn't. No. Netanyahu and I are not on.
but anyway,
And
I'm saying this whole thing l'chayra changes with the internet, right? And WhatsApp. You can't say you can we. I mean, am I being an apikoris? Not that that ever bothered me, but I'm saying unfortunately. But I'm saying, does that mean that nowadays this whole Gemara is obsolete?
oh, it depends what the reason for, if we're relying on Chavra Islay, then that there is always a Chavra Islay. If
Right.
we're relying on a physical
Yes or
lecha
no?
happening,
I'm almost finishing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see how this applies nowadays. Am I frozen again?
No, we heard you. We heard that.
Okay.
We heard that. We're posting it
All right,
soon.
let's see. It's getting late. Okay, good. Okay. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Ein machzike b'nichsei bereach. You cannot make a chazaka on somebody who's running away. Meaning a guy who's running, his life is in danger, right? You can't go making chazaka on his property because if the guy makes a macha, then they're going to track him down. Also in Yonah Yomer, right? If you communicate from where you are, the people that are looking for you are going to catch you, right? Right? Does he need to? Does he? You need to make the macha, right? Is it really necessary to make the macha in front of him? It's meaning, so we're saying if we hold that you don't have to make a macha in front of him, so then what's the difference if he's hiding out? Just make the macha and then you're good. But Rav, so Gemara asks, Rav, my kamashmalan, and Rav is saying, what's Rav's chiddush? Macha shalei in front of loy havi macha. Is Rav telling us that a macha not in front of him is not a macha? Meaning Rav said this din. Rav Yehuda said his name in Rav. So V'amar Rav macha shalei in front of havi macha, but he says that a macha shalei in front of is a macha, right? Meaning on Amud Aleph, Rav said that macha shalei in front of is a macha. So the Gemara says answers Rav time of the Tana didon come afarish v'lei loy svirei. Rav is just answering our Tana, but he himself does not hold of it. Rav is trying to explain our Mishnah, but he himself doesn't hold of macha shalei in front of his macha. Others say, Amar Rav Yehuda Rav machzike b'nichsei bareach, or machzik b'nichsei bareach. Ki amrisa kamei d'shmuel. And then he says, meaning he's saying that this is the exact opposite Gemara. The previous Gemara said, Ein machzike b'nichsei bareach. This one is saying machzike b'nichsei bareach. So then everything's going to be reversed. Ki amrisa kamei d'shmuel, Amar li pshita. So I said in front of Shmuel, he says pshita v'chilim chasifanav utzarach. Of course it works. Do you need to make a machon in front of him? So when I ask, Rav, my kamashmalan, machoshalah in front of him, machoshalah in front of him, Amrach, Rav Chadazimna. Rav said it one time already. Meaning, Rav, now it's not a kasha on Rav, now it's Rav. Why is he repeating himself? Even if he makes a bacha in front of two people, but those two people are they can't travel. So they can't travel, so then havi macha. It's still a macha. Meaning Rav is saying a chiddush. Even if you make the macha in front of the two people that can't walk, we still assume that the news is going to travel. Why? That's it. So that's the chiddush of Rav. That's with mamish two opposite gemaras. Okay. The Amar Rav. So our Gemara says the Amar Rav, that it sounds like a continuation. The Rashbam and the Bach say Amar Rav, not it's a new thing. Amar Rav Ana l'didim for Shloim Minei Shmuel. Says, so he says, Shmuel explained to me what's going on here. If he makes a macha in front of people that he's able to tell them havi macha, then it's considered a macha. But if he said the macha in front of two people that they cannot go tell the homeowner, meaning because they can't walk, loy havi macha, that's not a macha, right? So, meaning that's the way
not the homeowner, the squatter.
The squatter, correct? No, but no, the
it's the real owner who's making the macha on the squatter.
Real owner on the squatter, correct? The real owner is making the macha on the squatter. So he's making a chiddush that even if they can't walk, I'm sorry, no, that was the previous one. Now he's saying no, if they can't walk, it's not considered a macha.
And how would this apply to the law now, New York law? Like, if you squat in somebody's house for 30 days, they have to take you to court to get you out.
Right.
So how does that apply nowadays? Like for Dina de Machus Dina or something like that?
I don't know.
That's different. Look, it's like a tenant now. They're acting as a tenant. We have deeds going back hundreds of years, so you can't just come in. It doesn't work that way here. You know?
No, but it does. It's not going to work like that in the Gemara either if they had a deed. Here we're talking about where he doesn't have a deed. Like right, the first.
Yeah, but everything here, the deeds are recorded with the municipality, so it doesn't. To find a case. We have titles, title insurance. We got the Yanomama, not Yanomama. The Rockawaki Indians used to own Rockaway.
Right.
So yeah, we got to be concerned because they might come back and decide that this piece of swampland is there. Yeah. Good thing I sold it.
Anyways, okay, so that's what Shmuel thinks of Rav, and what is Rav saying? Why is Rav holding, right? How can Rav hold that a machav from people that can't walk is a machav? So our good old chavra islay, the chavra islay. Friends have friends, and word of mouth, meaning you don't have to necessarily have somebody physically be able to walk around and tell the squatter that somebody's in his field. So Rava says, you cannot make a chazaka on a guy who runs away, and a macha is a macha. So when it says tarti, both of those are a stira. Meaning if you say you can't make a chazaka on somebody who's running away, that's because you hold that a macha that is not in front of him is not a macha, because otherwise let the guy make a macha, even though he's hiding. Right? So then you can't go in the same breath and say a macha shaloi b'fanav is a macha. There's a stira. So when it says tarti, so when it answers like kasha, it's not a stira. Kan berech machmas mammon, kan berech machmas mardin. If he's running away because of money, then you can make a chazaka because he's trying to get away from his chayvus. Okay, but if he's not so scared, right? So he shouldn't have risked losing his land on that. But kan berech machmas mardin. But if mardin from I don't know if it comes from the word murder or not. If the word murder comes from that, but if it's because of murder that he's worried about, so nobody's going to risk their life to make a macha on their field, right? So Mamela, he's not going to be required to make a macha because doesn't have to give up his hiding spot in order to make a macha, right? Like this Oisfarf did in Iran, right? He somehow gave up his spot, and then the Israelis got him, right? I don't know if that's exactly how it went down, but that's what I was thinking about when we did this Gemara, right? If the guy's running away from money, good. So you're running away from your chayvus, make a macha on the field. What's the worst that happens? But if a guy is for his life, we can't ask him to give up his life for that. Yeah. Okay. We'll stop over here. Let's say it till him. Good giver. Lamnatseach, Mizmol David, Adona Adonai Tishkani Netzach, Adona Tastes Benefim, Adona Osus Isis Benachi Yogan, Revovi Yom, Adona Yom, Ayla, Abit Anina, Adonai, Ira, Ina, Punishan Amavis. From Yoma Oiva Yachal to Tsari Agil, Kiamat Bani, Bechas to Kovataki, Yagil, Vivish yourself, Ashira Adonai, Kuzama Aloy. Achenu Kavesi Sol, and some of Sover Shivi, Hamdim, and Vivi, and Bosham, Akim, and Akim, and Liam. Yatim, it's all the Rachim, Yafel, the Lord, and Mishibu the Gula. Okay, we should only hear Basuras Taivas.
What's the Shabbos is when?
9:40, they said, right?
40.
9:40, yeah. All right.
Yashikaya having the Shabbos.
Okay, I could Shabbos.
Can I call
What?
you with a Shiloh for Shabbos?
Can't hear
In a
you.
minute? You can't
Now,
hear me?
another phone call? Another phone call,
Yeah,
Naftali?
yeah.
Call him
Okay.
after Shabbos starts. Yeah, call him after Shabbos starts.
Yeah, all right.
What does she know?
All right. I could Shabbos, everybody. All right. All right.
Shabbos